Program, ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that gender-based violence is a national crisis in our country, and with the advent of the coronavirus pandemic, GBV has become a pandemic within a pandemic, as we have seen the rise in the number of cases of violence against women and girls, as most of them were trapped at home with their abuses. It is against this background that the President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency, Dr. Rasha Masisi, made a commitment to ending this crisis. And with that, our First Lady also pledged her support to fight GBV through this initiative. The STOP GBV poster contest was held across the country with the aim of selecting the most creative and inspiring work. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate these very talented individuals. And now, to begin our program, I would like to invite on stage the Assistant District Commissioner, Mpobongile, to introduce our distinguished guests here today.
Good afternoon. Dear patrons, my guests here today, we have the First Lady of the Republic of Botswana, Jane Masisi, Jane Masisi. Good afternoon. We also have amongst us here the Honorable Minister of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs, Mayor Anam Pete. Good afternoon, Mayor. We also have amongst ourselves Kosi Benoni Musielele, Kosi Lema Musielele. Good afternoon. Amongst ourselves, we also have the head of delegation of the European Union to Botswana, Jane Masisi, Your Excellency. We also have the UNICEF representative, Dr. John Maji. Good afternoon, ma'am. Within our midst, we also have His Worship of Gaborone City, Rev. Mapanga. Good afternoon, Your Worship. Let me also introduce to you the Assistant Commissioner of Botswana Police, Mayor Baonebawe. Good afternoon, ma'am. Finally, let me introduce to you, she's no longer on the screen, the Senator, Dr.Rasha Kelej of the Merck Foundation. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you very much, Assistant District Commissioner Mpobongile. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Minister of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs, Honorable Anam Pete, to come and give us and present an overview of the gender-based violence situation in the country. May we welcome you with a round of applause to the program.
Let me start by acknowledging the First Lady of the Republic of Botswana, Mayor Jane Masisi, and Jan Sadek, Ambassador of the UN, of the EU. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, good afternoon to you all. It is with absolute delight and immeasurable pride to be part of this awarding ceremony today. I am most of all excited by the fact that this initiative focuses on children and how they are affected by gender-based violence. Let me take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation for your efforts to address gender-based violence by coming up with the Cycling Against Gender-Based Violence initiative. This has gone a long way in sensitizing communities to shun and report all acts of gender-based violence. I am delighted that Botswana are now able to openly engage on GBV issues, including its prevention. And I'm also very much delighted that last year conversations were ignited. The entire Botswana population became alive and aware of GBV through the discussions. It doesn't matter of what nature they were, but what was important is that there was a national discussion around GBV. Let me start by highlighting that gender-based violence is a global pandemic, just like COVID-19. According to the World Bank 2019 report, 35% of women have experienced either physical and or sexual intimate partnership violence, that is IPV, or non-partner sexual violence. 7% of women have been sexually assaulted by someone other than a partner, and as many as 38% of murders of women are committed by an intimate partner. 92% have experienced some form of abuse in childhood. 97% of men have experienced intimate partner violence and GBV and were abused before they reached the age of 18 years of age. So coming home and specific to children, the 2018 survey on violence against children indicate that on average, 28.4% female and 43% male children in Botswana experience physical violence before the age of 18. The leading perpetrators of physical violence are parents, adult caregivers, and adult relatives, adults in the community, and peers. Interesting. Prevalence of sexual violence prior to age 18 was 9.3% for females and 5.5% for males, of which 1.8% and 0.2% accounted for physical first sex amongst females and males respectively. Amongst those who experience sexual violence, the most common perpetrators of first incident of each form of sexual violence was by a classmate, schoolmate, physical first sex by a stranger, attempted first sex by a family member, and present sex by a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or romantic partner. For mitigation, the study recommends that ministries of basic education, health and wellness, and local government and rural development should initiate primary prevention programs that focus on child abuse, especially for the boy child. It was also recommended that the men's sector should scale up the challenge against harmful notions of masculinity and facilitate rehabilitation in case of child abuse. Since COVID-19 pandemic in Botswana, and as of January 2021, a total of 4,996 GBV cases were reported. These include murder, rape, defilement, threat to kill, and indecent assault. Of these, 1,823 cases were taken before the courts, while 3,173 cases were pending for various reasons, such as still under investigation, suspects still at large, and their whereabouts unknown. Still under assessment by Director of Public Prosecutions, awaiting court dates for arraignment, pregnant victims awaiting DNA profiling, and awaiting reports from other stakeholders such as social welfare officers. It is worth noting that efforts are being made by various sectors to mitigate against GBV. For example, the Botswana Police Service introduced several initiatives such as gender and children-friendly units, GBV toll-free line, and standard operating procedures for handling gender-based violence cases. Noting the urgency of addressing GBV, Botswana has established special courts to speed up hearing of GBV cases. This aims to relieve the victims and survivors the ordeal of having to wait for long periods before their cases are heard. Other interventions include passing of Sexual Offenders Registry Bill. The bill provides for, amongst others, stiffer penalties against offenders and the establishment of the Sex Offenders Registry, which will record names and particulars of all persons convicted of sexual offenses. This should, to a large extent, deter potential offenders. To further strengthen efforts for GBV mitigation, government recently established the Interministerial Committee, which consists of cabinet ministers, senior government officials, development partners, civil society organizations, traditional leaders, faith-based organizations, academia. This committee provides strategic guidance on addressing gender-based violence. Despite these initiatives and interventions, challenges still persist, such as limited commitment by sectors to mainstream gender, including mainstreaming GBV. Limited capacity of most implementing sectors, as well as limited capacity of the national gender machinery to coordinate. Let me conclude by highlighting that women and girls bear the brunt of the economic and social fallout of COVID-19. It is therefore necessary for all of us to collectively intervene and mitigate for effective benefit of women and girls and eventually for the good of our nation. Let us remember, as we keep social distancing, we do not distance ourselves from women and children's issues. As we wear masks properly, we do not remain silent on issues of inequality. As we regularly wash our hands with clean water and soap, we wash our community of GBV. And as we avoid unnecessary travel, we do not retract our empathy to GBV victims. I thank you and wish you a pleasant and GBV-free afternoon and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Anna Mokheti. We do commend what the government of Botswana is doing in the fight against gender-based violence, and I believe that we can agree that it takes a collaborative effort to end this national crisis, which is why we applaud the First Lady for partnering with Merck Foundation and leading this fight against gender-based violence. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now for the next item in our program, I'd like to call upon on stage the very graceful Natasha Ndebele, also known as Lord the Poet, to come and serenade us with a lovely poem. Natasha, Lord the Poet, the stage is yours, ma'am.
Using your hands as weapons for battles untold. In a field known to bear flowers, you have planted pain its roots. Beyond generations, words are sharp. Pierce my skin, oh my skin. You touch it and scarred. Shame. It's the world's quiet eye, tired eye, and hurt. Because no means yes in a false world living is a sin punished by men, but I refuse. I refuse to be a slave to a God whose body I bet I will rip the skin and wake up a goddess. If you could just stop starring in the memories of my traumas. Your role is dismissed. This chapter is unforgettable, but the replay button is destroyed. If you could just stop using your hands as weapons for battles and war. Known to bear flowers where you have planted pain so much that he, she, they, we have not remained the same since the day violence was made based on my gender. I have surrendered what had rendered me hopeless. I will no longer remember my worthless moments because I will stand against violence and never be silenced. Round of applause for Natasha Ndebele. Whoa! I really felt that in my bones. Thank you very much, ladies. We work amongst very talented individuals. Now, for our next item on the program, I'd like to introduce a very remarkable woman. This lady, she's the Chief Executive Officer of Merck Foundation. She's the President of Merck Foundation First Ladies Initiative. She's the member of the Egyptian Senate and the President of Merck More Than a Mother and President of Merck Foundation Alumni. Dr.Rasha Kelej has also been recognized as one of the 100 most influential Africans by the UK-based New African magazine for the poignant More Than a Mother movement, which was launched and has touched many hearts. She has also been recognized as the 100 most influential African women. Dr. Kelej is named as one of the most 50 influential women in Egypt 2020, and this is according to research from the Egyptian Women Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us all the way from Dubai, let us welcome Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Honorable Excellency, my dear sister, the First Lady of Botswana and the Ambassador of Merck More Than a Mother, Madame Jane Masisi. Thank you very much for inviting me today, and thank you for the partnership. And in Botswanian, Kaya Labuch. So, Kaya Labuch, Madame Masisi, for inviting me. And I would also thank all the ministers available and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And I will not talk too much because everything is being expressed, and we walk the talk. And this initiative and the initiative of Her Excellency, the First Lady of Botswana, is walking the talk. She had initiated a cycling tour to stop gender-based violence. Very innovative initiative that Merck Foundation was proud to be part of it. I joined her virtually in 2020, and I'm looking forward to join her next cycling tour to Stop GBV in 2021. We have also launched together the Best Poster contest for Stopping GBV, where we were looking forward to receive a lot of amazing work of yours to talk about certain objectives like Stop GBV, of course, take a stand against GBV and child abuse in Botswana and in Africa, help people understand what is GBV is and how it's not acceptable and evil, and promote zero tolerance for GBV and demonstrate that GBV can be emotional, financial, and physical and sexual burden over communities and over the country. Hence, we launched this initiative, which was the idea of Her Excellency, the First Lady of Botswana, and I liked it very much. And I said, I want to be part of it. And we want to be, as Merck Foundation, part of it with you. So we're hoping that to work even closely with the award winners, which we are happy and proud that today I am joining you virtually to announce them and to announce the winners, where they are going to be the best, amazing, outstanding work. We, you will know, we selected our 3 award winners, and we selected also 10 award winners with like exceptional or special award. So the first, second, and third award, and also 10 special awards. And of course, Her Excellency will acknowledge them and will celebrate them today by herself. And this is a great honor by itself. And of course, as you know, why we are interested in GBV, when Her Excellency talked to us about it and explained how this is a very good initiative to protect women and children from abuse, to protect humanity, especially girls and women. Especially COVID pandemic has given rise to the violence against girls and women and children because they are locked in with their abusers. So GBV has destroyed families and promoted disunity within communities, our communities in general. So this initiative was very important to raise awareness and to break the silence and to be the voice of the voiceless. That's why we are very looking forward not only to announce the winners of this context edition 2020, but also launch the new edition of the same competition with Her Excellency, together hand in hand for 2021 and years to go. So it's very, very, very important for us. And I'm also looking forward not only to this, also to continue our program and our partnership with Her Excellency, the First Lady of Botswana, Madam Jane Masisi, to build and continue building healthcare capacity and continue providing Merck Foundation scholarships in many specialties, medical specialties that are critical and underserved in Botswana and in all Africa. And to let you know that we had a great achievement together. We have provided more than 39 doctors from Botswana with 1-year diploma and 2-year master degree in many specialties like diabetes, cardiovascular, endocrinology, respiratory medicine, intensive care, and new specialties coming soon. But most importantly, reproductive and sexual health, which is very, very important for women's health. As you know, 2 factors is very important to stop GBV, to stop gender-based violence against women and girls, is to have improve their access to health and to education. So when we improve their access to health, equitable and quality health care through reproductive and sexual care, it will be great empowerment for them against GBV. So let's all say together, no to GBV. And to finally say, Kaya Labuch, Your Excellency, Kaya Labuch, everyone for listening to us and joining hands with us, and also Kaya Labuch for the award winners. Congratulations and best of luck. Thank you.
That was the CEO.
Yes, just 1 minute, if you don't mind. I have a surprise for you, but I'm waiting for it. That I told Her Excellency today that we have with us the chairman of Merck and the chairman of Merck Foundation BOT. With us, he came to Dubai today, and he would like to have few words. he's just a bit late, and I'm waiting for him to come over. But I'm not sure what happened that it's a bit delayed. So maybe if Her Excellency allowed me, that we can he can have few words to welcome her, to thank her after the poem, which we're going to follow my speech, if Her Excellency allowed, of course.
Ka ho bua ho le ntse ne ke tsebe go go dumedisa mmatsile ke ne ke re ke to go tshwara ka le go ka bua go ntse tsweletse o dira dikgakgamatso o dira diaba e tsile maloba ka go bona o tabogile ka re na ha motho le ke mang motho o tshwana le phego ke mang motho o tsawang ke se go ke mang ga to ke mmatsile ka re mo ba isikile mo batlang wala mmatsile Pharma ba ise ke re ka re nya ya no go tlhaetse matsi le ba tara gatela ko pele ga tso se ke gata se tabola moshawa ke se tobe ga ke se palama ke motho hela se palama ke motho a itse go le sella go pieno ke a go bona go le seletse dina ka matsi motho ntsi bile a rua se tswana motho a le motho na ya lo yana mako ke go etse ke mo etse hela ke buelo yana ke re ke a leboga selo ke a leboga ke go jira le Botswana le ka re tsega le ana re tleke re tsega la re nang nyaga re sa go itsa se khwa ga no re ditulo ke dilo le maro na ditulo ke corona matsi corona o thasetse mme mako hela ke morai ke ra sho corona gompieno ga o ka kwa re bona gompieno ga re buika bana o to ga o ithawore mo kgabo re bua ka le mo le swele le go patileng corona re bua ka go ke mo gore thasetse go lo ga gona maitse go lo gole ka go khotela le dula ha tsela rona le kilebe le bidua le dula Botswana o kila ba bidua ga kiso ga kagiso Botswana matsi le o kila ba bidua le ha tsele le gore ha o le mo go le bidua ga botho batho le ha re batla kwano le ba o kilo ke maitse o ba o kilo ke go nna sentle ga rona re le Botswana le ha ke bala mo dikolong tse ditona ke ra ke bala ko le ha tse go tulisimologile nteng maloba motho o na a thomamisa a re kagiso e simologile mo Botswana le teme ya rona Setswana ga twe ke teme ya baengile ga e ke buiwa ke batho ba le tiro di busula di buiwa hala ke ba siame ke teme ya thapelo ke ra go bua dikwalo tse ditona matsi le maloba le khwane le mono le tseba go bolela gore kagiso e bona ko makgobo ha sela rona ke kagiso hela o mo bolela wa go re tswela kae wa khontsho ra berele ka go dira eng Botswana ra be re senyega gore ke mo jaanong go tshwentse kana go mo go tshwentse thata ga o bona go tshwentse mmatsile e ka berele batho e ka bere thomoga pele se ba maro na o ka ba togela koroni o ka ba togela phate thamaga a tla gore ra re Botswana antsa ha ne re sa re kgaba ka mmatsile antsa ha ne re sa re komela mahatsi antsa ha re go bone gore la o kwa mokhosi mmatsile bo ramme ke ba tumela e ge petwa le ene we makadina mosadi a le ko bua e makadina nna ke a go akgola ke tsile go gonela seata ke ka be ke le motho ke go tshwara ka seata me ka ke le so hela ke tla go tshwara ka seditse ke tlile go tshwara ba ileng ya ra mmatsile ke go tshwara mo ileng ya mora ke ba ke go tshwara mo ileng ya mo o vitsepo ke re ha ko ye makadina mmatsile ko ba kgwedi ya la mo le hatsi kgwedi le songa le bobedi yana o kopele ngahela o ko timere yo matsi go be se kalela go le se lo sa khokhontsho hala mo le dio ba go timele television matsi television e se kalela go tsela batho ba opela ka khokhontsho ba bua ka khokhontsho yana ba dira metshameko ka khokhontsho sengwe le sengwe hala re le bogana le khokhontsho matsi e tle re kgwedi hala re be le ko kerekeng ka go mo ga gona maitse matsi le ko kerekeng go tsena hela ga gona maitse le ha batho ba re ke Botswana go ba tsena la hala mo matung ga gona maitse go gotela dio tsotlhe le wa ba ntsa bolelana mosadi yo tshwana na kana le jelo mbala le mo hela le hibe le dio di mahela le hibe le botho bo le mahela le hibe le lebelo le mahela gore le tabogela lo le khokgontsho ana o hete o bolela go le la boraro ko le khoteng la lona le letona o hete wa le kgang sentle o re go ba kgwedi le mahela hela re kopa go bua ka khokgontsho le dikereke di go tshwara mmatsile di tse kgwedi le mahela hela ke tsile go kopa kgwedi mmatsi ga ke ata go kopa tse dintsi ka re kopa kgwedi le mahela o bo o buele ba dipampiri o re dipampiri ga ke le kope ke le kopa kgwedi ya gore a kore le belle khokgontsho re kore e ntshetswe ke phate e busula ga ya anege ke molemo wa maswe ga o yege banna le basadi re itse setoko go mo go biala le batho ba tsenye sekwele mmatshile gato bananyana ga re ba tsena ko sekweleng e re matshwao a thaela a khokgontsho ke motho go mo ga re thae sentele ga tshemmatshile ke dumalana le ona ke go tshwara ka lebogo ka re wa bo o dirile sentle wa re bana ba kwale postara o kobe go e rapellana o e rapella thata e bapegela la ga tautona di nne di le pedi ga ba di bapile gongwe le gongwe di tsena mo dikolong di tsena le mo ditseleng di tsene di bapegela re ko re ipone maswe ka tsone modimo a le okeletse tota ne ke sa tla go boka mmatsi ke ne ke tsile go kopa kgwedi ke ne ke sa tla go boka mmatsi le ke ne ke rana le ene ke mo kope kgwedi mosadi le ene ntse a bua ka ga motshego ga ka ga o morero ke mo kopile kgwedi le pele nne kgwedi ga re bele gore kganye e tare e lena batswana ke le kopa kgwedi a ko kgwedi le ngwahela hela mme kgwedi ka re hela ke ibitse ka sekwena ke le kgwedi ntle le botshelo kgwedi ke tshetse khokgontsho kgwedi ntle le botshelo ha tsela rona le hele le sho ya ka moedi ha tsela rona le tsaba ke le ya ka moedi
So actually, as I promised,
At this point in time, I'd like to give Dr.Rasha Kelej, because I see her guest is here, our surprise guest is here. I would like to give you the honors, Dr.Rasha Kelej, of introducing our guest today.
yes, Your Excellency, Madame Jane Masisi, the First Lady of Botswana and Ambassador of Merck More Than a Mother. I'd like to introduce, and of course you know him, but I'd like to welcome Professor Frank Steingebrek-Haverkamp, the Chairman of the Executive Board of Merck KJ Germany, and the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Merck Foundation, here to give you a few words and to welcome you.
Your Excellency, First Lady of Botswana, I'm very happy, very pleased to see you again, only digitally, but we will change that as soon as it is possible. So today, of course, also my greetings to the honorable ministers, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all safe and healthy. Here in Dubai, the situation is getting better and it all looks pretty normal again, fortunately. Let's hope that development will continue like this. So I'm very happy to share this important ceremony with you to announce the winners. STOP GBV Best Poster Contest in partnership with Her Excellency Mrs. Neo Jane Masisi, the First Lady of Botswana and Ambassador of Merck More Than a Mother and Ministry of Gender. All the winners have generated very good work with the aim to prevent gender-based violence and child abuse in Botswana. Well done and congratulations. You know that is very, very close to my heart, being the father of 7 and the grandfather of 12 in the meantime. We wish to meet the First Lady of Botswana and all of you in person in Botswana, hopefully after the corona pandemic is over. So stay healthy and safe for the next months to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much to the team at Merck Foundation. Now, earlier on, I got a little bit excited and skipped to this item of the program, but now I think this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Please help me welcome to the podium our First Lady, Mrs. Jane Masisi.
Gender Affairs, Honorable Namareo. First, the houses of CLA, all the young Shupa in Kumahadwahao. Head of Delegation of the European Union to Botswana and SADC, His Excellency Jan SADC. Minister Representative Dr. Jane Masisi. Gaborone Mayor, His Worship Rekata Fada Mapongo, the Assistant Commissioner of Botswana Police, Mayor Rivame Aure, the Chairman of Merck, Professor Frank Startenberg Haverkamp. Guten Tag. Chief Executive Officer, Merck Foundation, Senator Dr.Rasha Kelej. Salam. Chairperson, National Children's Council, Mrs. Manuki Kamaragao. BDP Women's Women Chairperson, Megan Kaliswale. Senior government officials who are here present, esteemed finalists, and my personal guests, Mama Sire, Rete Fobaya, Beo Tirelen Gaswale, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very welcome to you all. It is with utmost pleasure and honor and deep emotions that I stand here to speak to you this afternoon as we recognize the finalists of the Stop Gender-Based Violence Best Poster Contest, organized in partnership with the Merck Foundation. I'd like to thank you all for making it here this afternoon to this award ceremony. At the same time, as we recognize these creative men and women for their winning posters, let us not forget that this is part of the critical agenda, where it's an expression that gender-based violence and child abuses, particularly sexual abuses that persist in our society, are unacceptable. Furthermore, we all have a responsibility to ensure that it comes to a stop. If I were to ask this question, how many of us in this room or wherever you're sitting have experienced gender-based violence, either directly or indirectly, where we were a victim or where someone close to us was a victim? I know for certain that a good number of us would raise our hands in the affirmative, including myself. This confirming the numbers that tell the very sad story, as outlined by our Honorable Minister, Leana Mokgeti. These numbers continue to paint a grim picture indeed. As part of the campaign against ending gender-based violence in 2020, I initiated a Stop GBV poster contest where I partnered with Merck Foundation. For this contest, the participants were requested to submit a creative poster that expressed a strong message advocating for the end to gender-based violence in all its forms and child abuse. During COVID-19, as mentioned by the previous speakers, including the lockdown periods, worldwide there was a sharp escalation in gender-based violence and child sexual abuse cases. In most of these cases, it was the most vulnerable, falling prey to the perpetrators who committed these horrible acts. Botswana, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, was not spared from this second pandemic. While incidents against men were recorded, we saw women and girls, in particular, enduring the most painful assaults. The victims included those living with disabilities. They continue to suffer, as in the other cases, they're abused by caretakers who know that these people's livelihoods depend on them entirely for both resources and in some cases assistance with basic functions such as mobility. Honorable Minister Anna, allow me to quote you, where you said, while launching the 2020 State of World Population Report, you highlighted that Botswana has long been facing a gender-based violence crisis, with 1 in 3 women having experienced abuse in their lifetime, according to the 2018 National Relationship Study. The World Population Review of 2019 also places Botswana as the second country on rape cases at 92.9 per 100,000 citizens. The negative impacts of GBV on development cannot be understated, as it impedes attainment of Agenda 2030 goals, specifically SDG 4, achieving gender equality and empowering all girls and women. We know women carry a substantial load in our homes and communities as mothers, as wives, and as caretakers. That is why in Setswana, Rere Mosadi Karia Sechaba, indeed carrying the nation on her back. And remember, each one of us only has one back, but there she is, carrying it all. Furthermore, our Botswana Vision 2036 aspires for gender equality, stating that Botswana will be a society where all men and women have equal opportunity to actively participate in the economic, social, cultural, and political development of their country. If we do not fully address GBV against women and girls, it will hinder them from achieving their full potential, and hence the important contribution, that backbone, that single spine they have, shall be hampered in the development of our country. It is disheartening that we are creating a society where over generations, these painful and traumatic experiences become a part of our children's lives, a part they cannot easily erase, as it will remain embedded as indelible images and indelible marks, replaying years on, if not decades on, after they have been actually experienced. His Excellency the President of Botswana, as mentioned earlier, Dr. Masisi, during his national address in September 2020, pleaded with all of us to take action against the scourge. And he said, just so that we recap, the high incidence in the gender-based violence cases is unacceptable. It calls on all of us to take decisive steps and act collectively against it. We cannot be bystanders in a country where a segment of our population appears to have turned predators to the vulnerable members of our society, particularly women and children. And he further urged all of us and said, I therefore take this opportunity to call on individuals, families, the communities, faith leaders, the Khosi, civil society, the private sector, the media, as well as political leaders, to collectively address the challenges posed by gender-based violence. I thank the leadership of this country for the continuous efforts in fighting GBV. Anna, you highlighted a number of interventions there. We thank you all. In heeding this urgent call to action with support from different entities, I also being part of this community of Botswana, not only that of the globe, I embarked on a national awareness campaign against gender-based violence during 2020. I can see it's still fresh in our minds. The poet spoke as if he's actually riding a bicycle. But I'll always say, and I'll still say, we recall these initiatives. I'll start off with the cycling with mayors in Gaborone. Thanks, Father Mapongo, that you've been able to make it here with us this afternoon. But I cycled in Gaborone joining Silibe Pikwe and Lubatse. I extended this cycling event to Reikops in Buteti West because, as we know, Buteti has the highest incidence of gender-based violence cases, where I cycled with His Honor the Vice President and Area MP, Res Lamba Tsohwan. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the partners during all these cycling events: Ministry of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs, Botswana Police Service, the Khosi, development partners. Thank you, Rasabek, that you are here representing them. UN agencies, Legend, thank you for being here. Youth organizations and the private sector, all in an attempt to use unconventional means to convey this very important message of zero tolerance to gender-based violence. while you were riding, we did not forget the other men and women who are just as affected or who have a stake in this issue. We held stakeholder engagements. Voices came out, as the minister said, that we started talking about this freely. Other CSOs came on board also. The Cape, Botswana Christian Intervention Program had a piece of in Kasane, where they invited myself. And during all these interactions, ladies and gentlemen, the message was, and still is, very clear and very consistent, where the victims and their families and society at large are pleading and saying that crying out for protection by law enforcement, and that's what we see law enforcement here, they're crying out for laws to be enacted, for perpetrators to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Women and girls must recognize acts of GBV and take action. More importantly, report these cases. They're saying cultural norms which promote GBV mindset and equal power must be addressed first. They admit it takes teaching our boy child to love, to care, and to control their anger. Finally, the GBV poster was one of the initiatives. Such an event attracted attention from Merck Foundation, where Dr.Rasha Kelej cycled with me virtually, as she said in the last year. When I initiated the Stop GBV Best Poster Contest, where contestants would use artwork in order to raise gender-based violence and child abuse awareness and its negative effects, Merck Foundation were more than willing to support this initiative. Together with a number of African First Ladies, I'm currently an ambassador of Merck for the Mother campaign, which seeks to address infertility stigma. Merck Foundation also provides scholarships, as Raja has mentioned, to African doctors, including Botswana. The training is intended to strengthen capacity in our healthcare systems. And once again, I thank Merck Foundation for your valuable contribution to women and girls' advancement in our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the competition, 70 applicants, about 70 applicants rendered their submissions, and we had 6 adjudicators. The identities shall remain a secret, and they selected the best 13 posters. And I think they will testify how very difficult it was to get the best poster. These adjudicators, again, in the spirit of many stakeholders coming to the table, they were picked from Office of the President, Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Culture Development, Ministry of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs, and again, University of Botswana, academia. We want to see the university participating in these community issues. I'd like to thank the adjudicators, but do not stand and do not raise your hands. You remain a secret. The contestants, as earlier mentioned, were to design posters based on the theme, the silent pandemic, GBV, child abuses. The objectives were highlighted earlier. I will not repeat those, but I'd just like to say to our esteemed finalists, some traveling from as far as Kasane and Francistown, thank you very much for your bravery, for participating and voicing that you still choose to say no to this evil. I am aware that for some, it was more than just a competition. You were sharing personal stories with the rest of us. Through the posters, we hope to get the message across as to the rest of Botswana and beyond. Congratulations to all of you. To those who did not make it, to the final, let me say you too are appreciated and recognized. I would also like to thank the Botswana Police Service, who have been a key partner in this fight, who have ensured that the fight against GBV remains a priority area, which has been evidenced in their interventions. When I started cycling in October 2020, Rema Khope, the Commissioner of Police, promised that in 2021, come 2021, Despite the budgetary constraints, we know resources are on the short because of COVID. He said there will be a dedicated gender-based violence unit. I'm very happy that, true to his word, the Botswana Police Service delivered. And today, we have Merck Ngono. I thank you for being with us this afternoon. The Botswana Police Service continues to engage communities and teach them about GBV. And also, they have introduced child-friendly interview rooms. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the day is here. The 13 esteemed finalists will receive the awards from both myself and Senator Dr.Rasha Kelej, the CEO of Merck Foundation. In closing, let me once more thank Merck Foundation for this partnership. And I also extend my gratitude to other partners and stakeholders and all Botswana who have joined in this fight. Let us fight on, and we must not tire to save these women, men and children who are drowning from this terrible tragedy. And I urge our families to address this as we raise boys who represent tomorrow's loving, nurturing fathers, husbands, partners, and grandfathers. This will translate to nurturing families and communities, thus building a Botswana known for our uniqueness, which stems from Botho, peace and compassion. All of us, let us be the leaders as we raise our voices in unison to say GBV must end, child abuses must end. And let us continue the compliance with COVID protocols to ensure our safety and that of others, washing our hands, wearing masks, and distancing. I thank you all. Shukran. Danke schön.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mama, Mother of the Nation. Thank you very much for that wonderful address. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the screenshot of the top 13 submissions. What's going to happen is that the submissions will be shown on the screens, and with each poster that has been submitted, it has a name. I would kindly like to ask the individuals who have submitted the posters, as their poster appears, to stand up and wave to the crowd so that we may be able to acknowledge you and also celebrate you. Thank you very much. We can now show the top 13 submissions for the STOP GBV poster contest. And just so you know, these top 13 submissions were the finalists among a lot of submissions that we received from across the country as well as from across Africa as well. So these are the ones that made it through to the finals, because the competition was only open to Botswana, that is the citizens of our country. Now presenting the top 13 contestants. Dr.Rasha. Machola. Bakwena. Lehunagadi Moruti. Elijah Mapatela. Amuchatini. Andisi Banda. Was that the 13th one, I believe? That was with, Maikane Mujua. Those are your top 13 finalists, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to celebrate them today. And now, for the moment that we've all been waiting for, that is the announcement and the awarding of the winners by the First Lady of the Republic of Botswana. Ma'am Martine, I would like to welcome you back on the podium as we award our recipients. Please be seated. Okay. We are going to award the top 3 finalists. Saidi Rabasha. Jama Pagela. And last but not least, Tamusha Tulu. Let me congratulate the top 3. I would like to call upon all the top 13 finalists to come and have a photo opportunity with the First Lady. Please come this way. Getting a certificate from the First Lady as well. Before the photo opportunity, let me call the rest who will be also getting the certificates. Let me announce first. Jete Marakenyane. For the photo opportunity, no worries. We would like to award the rest. Jete Marakenyane. Sibanda. Medina, Petiso. Shudi Bakwena. Malevicheran Twitter. Shudi Bakwena. Malevicheran Twitter. Bilani Machola. Maikano Mojila. Mvula hadi Merck. I believe we all have our certificates. We can now pose for a lovely photo with our First Lady. Yes, congratulations to the top 13. Yes, yes, we celebrate you all. Yes. You all did a fantastic job. The First Lady is asking that our dignitaries present may join. Akosi, Mayor, His Excellency Jean Sedek, the Minister, Honorable Anna Makhoti, and our esteemed, distinguished guests, our VIPs may join in on the photo opportunity. Thank you very much. What a beautiful picture this is. Thank you all very much and congratulations to our top 13 finalists. all have played a big part the fight against gender-based violence in the country. Thank you very much, Martin, and we thank Dr.Rasha Kelej as well, who is the CEO of Merck Foundation. Have a gift. Excellency Jean Cedric. We have a gift from the ambassador, His Excellency John Cedric. If you could kindly just so that we can take a photo, yes, with our First Lady, Mother of the Nation. A few remarks as well, Your Excellency.
It might seem a little bit impolite to crush the competition like this, but I thought we could also award the First Lady with a poster and
Wonderful.
we did this in the EU delegation. Which is our contribution to the campaign. So I thought it could be a good idea on this occasion, outside the competition, of course, to just hand this to the First Lady. And we so much appreciate her engagement in this. And we, of course, we follow you, and we try also from the EU side and from the international partner side to contribute also to the fight against gender-based violence. So this is our little contribution to your campaign.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's so great to see all stakeholders in unity and collaborating in the fight against gender-based violence. We're almost at the very end of our program. I'd like to call upon one of the finalists to just come and share a word of encouragement. And I believe one of the finalists has a word to share with us. Give us a few remarks. So welcome him with a round of applause.
Excellency, First Lady, Jane Masisi, Foundation officials, volunteers, staff, nationality, immigration, and gender affairs, honorable government officials, student journalists who are here, and any other respective personnel in those particular house. Good afternoon. It is with distinct honor to address this important congregation on behalf of the pageant finalists of gender-based violence West Poster Contest. Allow me to express deepest appreciation and thanks to First Lady and the Merck Foundation for this adventurous engagement with the creative arts to perform and achieve the common goal of stopping gender-based violence in Botswana. The Stop Gender-Based Violence Poster Contest will sound timely and appropriate. It speaks directly and adds to the nation's vision for the violence-free nation. This has also come when there was a notable amplification of gender-based violence countrywide. Excellencies, it has been visual for the past years that most of the gender-based violence cases were women-oriented based in terms of affection. But after implement of different rules and community outreaches and conveyance of education services to a greater number of people across the nation, there was a notable understanding of gender-based violence among the nation, especially the youth, which is the most affected group. The situation of that also brought an equilibrium view towards gender-based violence that was initially and in many ways just to be only affecting women. This has now confused as men nowadays are able to report such cases. The social media as whole has also had a positive and negative influence towards the gender-based violence. In that regard, the soul to be one of the vital rules towards killing and gender-based violence. It also involves inclusion of creative art, and this best place contest has proven to be one of the ingredients. Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative to be inclusive in addressing gender-based violence, as it affects everybody any time. In addition to that, I want you to conclude by raising a suggestion that the critical way to address issues is to engage those people who are in the affected environment. So I think it will be more instrumental if we adopt the Stop Gender-Based Violence campaigns in every event that reaches people. That is to say, in every event, before the beginning of every event, these sports activities, recreational events, and even in official settings, like in the Parliament, to observe a minute of silence to stop gender-based violence before the Parliament proceeds speaking. I once more express gratitude to the Merck Foundation in partnership with Excellency First Lady of the Republic of Botswana and all the involved stakeholders for this particular best food contest. We are more optimistic that with such interventions and contests will get to the core of achieving the nation's goal of stopping gender-based violence. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you most sincerely for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those lovely words. And congratulations once again to the top 30. First Lady, we really applaud you for what you have done, for the role that you are playing in the fight against gender-based violence, as well as the government of Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of our program. But before we allow the First Lady to leave, let me just announce that but our First Lady will entertain our VIP guests in the room. She would like a moment also with the top, some of the top 13 finalists here today. We have come to the conclusion of our program. My name is Larissa Mahoja, and it has been my pleasure being the Director of Ceremonies and hosting you all today. Thank you very much.